21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Did you know that 60% of American baby food, according to a recent nutrient study, is deemed unhealthy and doesn't live up to the American standards of what baby food should be? And that additionally, 60% of the baby food also has misleading claims on their packaging. I'm Bethe Levin, and I am the founder and CEO of Globowl, an internationally inspired baby and toddler food company focused on introducing children to flavors from around the world, introducing allergens early, increasing oral motor development by serving textured food, all in an attempt to hopefully mitigate picky eating and food allergies in children down the line and provide the healthiest start in life for our little ones. This is my third company, so I guess you would consider me a serial entrepreneur. I started my first company a couple years out of college, and it was an online publication for women in the city of Chicago, and it was very much before digital publishing was really a thing. Most publications were still in their hard paper form, but it was very much about what to do, what to eat, where to go, what to see for the young cosmopolitan woman. We were able to garner advertisers like Lululemon and Coca-Cola and Diageo and Skinny Girl and Miller Coors, and the list goes on because we brought this online community offline, and our advertisers were able to reach this woman, this very desirable woman, from a 360-degree capacity. I did that for about 8 years, and I was then brought on to launch and run the Chicago market for a brand new startup, a venture-backed startup called Reserve. So I wasn't the founder, but I was one of the founding employees. And I opened the Chicago office, got it set up, did the hiring, onboarded the restaurants, and ultimately Reserve as a table management system and reservation system was sold to Resy, and Resy sold to American Express. After that, I was consulting for quite a few startups, actually, all over the country, all over the United States, and really enjoyed helping others get their dreams to life and grow their businesses. And while I was doing that, one of my clients had me come on part-time. This was a hospitality consulting company. So all very much in the realm of food, hospitality, and culture, really. So I became ultimately a full-time employee there, and when I left, I was the global director of sales. And we had clients such as Jean-Georges and Danielle Boulud and the Peninsula and the Four Seasons. Unfortunately, COVID hit, and hospitality was hurt very badly during that time. And so it was also about the time that my daughter started eating solid foods, and we were in quarantine. My baby was a quarantine baby. We couldn't leave the house. And I thought, I don't know how to, she's not leaving anytime soon. How do I bring the world to my child? And the answer to me was through food. I've been a food writer for 15 years. Food is a huge part of my life, huge part of my family's life. My husband has run Michelin-starred restaurants, so food is everything to us. And we also didn't want a picky eater. Our son was a very picky eater because as first-time parents, we were very hesitant to give him texture, flavor, spice, allergens, all of that. So with our daughter, we said, throwing her to the wolves, and we're just going to give her a coconut curry because that's what we're eating today. And thus the idea of Globowl was born, being able to bring the world to kids through flavor, texture, spice, introduce them to allergens early like everyone else in the world does, and hopefully create healthier babies. with Globowl, we are very much trying to feed babies the way the rest of the world feeds babies. And that is very much by eating what the parents are eating. Baby food does not have to be dumbed down because babies aren't dumb. So what we decided to do with Globowl was to introduce flavors and introduce these textures. And basically, while doing that, we didn't strip the food of the allergens because they're naturally in there. And in the United States, we're 10 times more likely to have food allergies than anywhere else in the world because the American baby food industry has sanitized baby food down to these mushy one-note purees in single-use plastic pouches. Also horrible for the environment. And quite frankly, we're all consuming nano and microplastics at all times, but our babies are still developing. It's even more dangerous for them. And so we knew we had to do something different. We had to get those allergens back in. We had to put in the cayenne and the paprika and the saffron or whatever it might be, because kids have a flavor window between 4 and 18 months of age. That is when we can most easily influence the way that they eat forever. So even though there's not a lot of cayenne, the palate starts to adjust to it. So the next time it comes, it's not a surprise. So we launched 2 years ago. Well, I'm sorry, we conceptualized this in 2021. We went live in stores online in November of 2023. This study that just came out 2 weeks ago is the very reason we started selling. The fact that there's too much sugar in these products, right? The pouches, think about how many apples go into an applesauce pouch, right? It's more than you could sit down and eat in a single setting. So even though it may be natural sugars, it's still not healthy and they far surpass where sugar should be. Same with sodium, same with a lack of protein. So most of these pouches really are a more of a snack food, but they're leading to some bad eating habits because it leads to overconsumption, right? You're eating many, many apples and many pieces of veggies and all the stuff in one sitting. You tend to eat more than one because you're not chewing your food. You are drinking it, and therefore your tummy isn't giving you the cues that you're full. So we thought it was so important to have that textured food so kids learn how to chew. We thought it was so important to make sure that we're no added 0 grams of added sugar. Kids don't need more of that. They need more flavor. And also the misleading claims is completely unacceptable. We have all of our labels are reviewed by an FDA attorney. And quite frankly, as soon as this report came out, I was so proud that we took all of these additional steps that we voluntarily took, whether it was the FDA review or we do voluntary heavy metal testing. It's not required. We use a third-party audit system. I actually, after the study came out, sent it to my attorney again, and I said, please give this one more review. I want to be able to say that we have done everything right. So I'm very confident in the product that we're putting out, the recipes, the claims and the marketing, that all of it is the best that there is for the littlest amongst us. In addition to building and creating the healthiest baby food out there, we are also very passionate about introducing kids to the world through food. By them trying a pad thai, by them trying tikka masala, they're learning about the world and tolerance and open-mindedness, curiosity, right? That's a natural thing to have. So let's motivate that further. Let's encourage that. And we do that through these amazing recipes that have been created by Michelin-starred chefs, James Beard Award-winning chefs, and they're all backed by pediatricians, pediatric nutritionists, pediatric dentists, occupational therapists, speech therapists. These are all medical and child growth experts that are advocating for this way of eating, because this is the way the rest of the world does it, and they do not have the same problems that we have here in the United States. And ultimately, we would really, really love to just be a big part of the American eating experience in American families' lives. So whether it's, introducing all these great flavors and meals to kids, or it's to encourage children to get in the kitchen with their parents and learn about their own cultures and traditions. I get to teach my kids about my mom's aunt in Italy through the pesto that I make, or the matzo balls I make on my, in December for Hanukkah. So that's super important to us. And we think it's really exciting to get into the homes of these American families and teach them the best eating habits and encourage love and laughter in the kitchen and in their lives. Since we launched in stores and on our website in November, we're now in actually over about 450 stores in the United States. We're really excited about the penetration we've made into the natural and organic channel. So the Thrive Markets of the world and the Central Markets of the world, the Town and Countries of the world, the Gelsons of the world. These are all very progressive grocers that are like first in line to accept and embrace the trends. And it shouldn't even be a trend. I mean, this is backed by science and research, right? Introducing kids or babies early to allergens is scientifically proven to reduce the likelihood of food allergies later in life. Kids have that flavor window that I mentioned between 4 and 18 months. This is all backed by science. So it's really interesting that these shouldn't be trends, but they are, because we have gotten so far away from this old school or old world way of eating and into this new wave of sanitized baby food pouches. And the fact is, we need to go back. Our parents and our grandparents did not have food allergies. They weren't picky either, because their parents gave them what they gave them and that was it. And then they went to bed, right? So we're really trying to get back to that idea of just giving kids anything they want, anything you want to give them, without having to clean it and strip it of all the good stuff. Globowl has received a lot of attention because of this new and novel and innovative way of feeding babies. I say innovative, but it's really just going back to kind of the start. But we're disrupting that industry, and it seems as if the CPG and natural products industry has really taken note. We've been highlighted in so many trade publications as something that is needed, it's necessary, it's breaking barriers, it's doing all the great stuff. I was even accepted to compete on a show called Food Stars, Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars. And it is basically The Apprentice for food founders. So a series of business related challenges over the course of 10 episodes. I did make it to the very end. So I made it to the final episode. And that was an incredible experience, because what I believe it did was, one, I was able to share the global word, right, with millions of people every single week, versus, say, a Shark Tank episode, which is wonderful, but it's 5 minutes one time ever. This was ongoing sort of appearances in a family's living room. So it was amazing to be validated by someone like Gordon Ramsay, not a doctor, not a health expert, but a very successful entrepreneur and an incredible chef. So that was very validating. We were nominated for the Chicago Innovation Award in both 2022 and 2023. We won the Parents' Pick Award in 2023. So we have received a lot of accolades from our industry, backing, like I said, from medical experts, and validation by the consumer as a whole. I mean, I can't tell you how many grandparents have said to me, I wish this was around when my kids were around, or parents saying the same thing if they have kids that are a little bit older. They wish it was around 5 years ago. So we're actually now figuring out, so how do we grow with that family? How do we grow with the baby that's first starting food at 6 months old to the 8-year-old that's now kind of making their own snacks or, wanting a more robust meal. So this idea of grow with Globowl, has been born over the last, let's say, 6 months. And we are now teaching our consumers, how do you increase kind of the life of Globowl, in the meantime, while we're innovating and coming up with toddler meals and snacks.
Roller coaster ride, hands up in the sky, take you on a ride, love to feel the high. We can start again, laughing to the end, screaming at the top, hope it never stops. We could do it all over, thrill is bringing us closer, superstar you're like Nova. Oh, so incredible one time, gotta let it go tonight, wanna know what it feels like, yeah.
As an entrepreneur, we have the tendency to be 100% absorbed in our business. And I am guilty as anyone of that. But as a 3-time founder, as a kind of a serial entrepreneur, you start to realize work isn't everything, because if you don't have your own health, whether it's physical or mental, you don't have the business. You don't have a successful venture. You burn out. You have a panic attack, of which I'm guilty, by the way. I've had those things happen to me. So what I've learned over the years, and since starting my family, I have a young family, an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, is balance. And I know balance is crazy and no one actually believes in it. And I'm not saying I'm 100% balanced, I'm not. But what I do try to do is integrate an idea of balance, an idea of mental health, an idea of physical health into my day-to-day routines. And quite frankly, because my kids are so young, I incorporate them into it. So it allows me to be a mom while taking care of myself as well, and also teaching my kids some really good habits. Because how can I be the founder of a healthy wellness food company for families if I'm not living that?
Roller coaster ride, hands up in the sky, take you for a ride, love to feel the high. We can start again, laughing to the end, screaming at the top, hope it never stops. We could do it all over, thrill is bringing us closer, superstar you're like Nova. Oh, so incredible one time, gotta let it go tonight, wanna know what it feels like, yeah.
Or walking the walk and talking the talk. So, at night, my kids and I, we sit down and we meditate. And you can easily do this for 2 to 3 minutes. There's apps that allow you to say 2-minute meditation. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. We practice gratitude every night so that as stressful of a day as I may have had, which are frequent, right? You're always worried about something, especially when you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, as an entrepreneur. But every night we practice gratitude and we say what it is that we're grateful for. And it's really beautiful seeing little kids do this, because their idea of what they're grateful for can be so serious. Like, I'm so grateful for my mom and dad and that they're healthy. I'm so grateful for my house and the roof over my head. But they could also say, I'm grateful for the ice cream that I got as a snack from Papa today, right? That's a beautiful thing if you can appreciate the little things and the big things. So we try to incorporate that into our lives. And quite like I'm still learning and getting used to it, but I'm trying to incorporate more physical activity. So, taking phone calls while on my, walking mat, or using the walking mat while I'm working, or taking a phone call while going for a walk if the weather's okay. You get your fresh air. You can't underestimate the value of fresh air. So I just think it's about making small adjustments versus trying to live this perfect balanced life. It's not going to happen, but you certainly can make these small kind of additions to your life, and they really add up. And the one other thing I'd say as a piece of advice that's worked for me as a working mom, I think women entrepreneurs and mother entrepreneurs, there's an added level of complication and guilt, honestly, that comes with that. I'm leaving my kids for this 2-day meeting and they're going to go to sleep without me and blah, 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 but I can't miss this meeting because my business and the investors and everything else depends upon it. So what I've done is I've called this business our business. To make sure there's no divide between my kids and the business, that my kids aren't envious of the business. They don't think they're losing mommy to the business. So we talk about how it's our business, it's our family's business, and it's really worked. At dinner time, by the way, we always really do sit down for dinner together because I think food and family is so important. But we sit around the table and my kids will literally say, how much baby food did we sell today? What happened today? What did we do? And I just think that one is teaching them about hard work and entrepreneurship and the fact that they care, but also uniting us as a family in this instead of creating that kind of division between the company and work and my own family. If you'd like to enjoy Globowl and introduce your kids to worldly flavors and really healthy baby food options, please visit our website at www.theglobowl. GLOBOWL.com. You can follow us on social media at the Globowl. You can follow me at Erica Beth. There's an E at the end of Beth. I don't know why, but that's how my parents did it. And I love teaching families how to cook and bring themselves together through food and tell stories through food. And I do a lot of cooking demonstrations and segments on television. If you are interested in ever having me do that, I would absolutely love to. It's my greatest passion in life. So please reach out. You could do so through info@globowl.com. And I receive all of them and I will respond accordingly. So thank you very much.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Imagine a space where triumphs, trials, and tales of entrepreneurship come alive. Welcome to the 21st Century Entrepreneurship Podcast, a gold awarded journey hosted by Martin Piskarik, connecting with listeners in 95 countries and ranking in the top 0.5% of all podcasts. Join our exclusive community, elevate your perspective, and embark on the path to success.